I've made a decision. I'm scared, but I am doing a no-buy/low-buy 2025. Welcome if you're new to my channel, and if you've been here for a while, you know that I usually talk a lot about energy work and spiritual practices, create transformation, and how to do all of that in a way that is very grounded. This year, I've decided to do a challenge, and I want to document it and share it here with you. So if you have any tips, if you've done this before, if you know anyone that's done this and you have some good insight, please let me know in the comments. I'm going to be dividing this video into my why, into my rules, and also talk about a little bit of the triggers that I may encounter so that I can start preparing on how to navigate those. When I first learned about this challenge, I felt very called to it. It was a full body yes, but part of my brain is like, there's absolutely no way that this is possible. Now, I'm going to be calling this personally a no-buy/low buy because there are some things that I am not buying 2025, and there's some things that I'm buying a lot less of. And everyone has different rules, different takes. Some people are very strict about when to call it a no-buy, when to call it a low-buy. All the stuff, I think you can make it personalized for you. When I first started doing research about this and I decided I'm doing this, I realized that it's really important to get clear on your why. Why are you doing this? This is going to help you move through the tough times. And yes, it's going to be tough. I mean, maybe more for some people than others, but I think that if you've never had this type of lifestyle of doing minimal purchases, not just spending when you feel bored, spending when you feel stressed, it can feel hard and it can feel different than what you're used to. So change in general can feel uncomfortable. I have my notes here, so I'm just going to go talk about my whys. These are not in any specific order of importance, and some of them feel more superficial and some of them are deeper. So I'm just going to allow myself to acknowledge all the reasons why I'm doing this. And anytime I'm having a hard time, come back to my notes and look at these reasons. So one of my reasons to doing a no-buy/low buy is I want to save and completely fulfill my e-fund. E-fund is what I call an emergency fund. I don't love to call it an emergency fund. There's reasons, and I can talk about that another time, but I want to fulfill and completely fund 6 months worth of expenses. And that is 6 months worth of expenses on how I live now. So that's not the bare minimum. That's including a gym membership and some subscriptions that I enjoy. And so I want to save up for 6 months. And that also includes credit card debt, like my monthly payments. That feels something that I really, really want to do. I've never saved up that much. I am currently a little over halfway there. And the main goal for the fund is going to be $39K. So that is something I really, really want. And I think this challenge is going to help me get there. Another why is I want to start investing. This is something that I never wanted to do before. And my husband gifted me a book. It's called Rich AF. It's actually pretty good. It was pretty triggering the first couple of chapters because it talks about all the adulting things that I'm not doing and I never wanted to do. But as I moved through it and started to take action, it started to feel very empowering, and learning about investing a little bit, not feeling so quote unquote helpless in that arena. This is going to be my financially thriving girl era. And so I'm all in. So I want to start investing, and technically I'm investing a little bit when it comes to retirement through, retirement funds, but not much. I haven't even looked at those things really. I haven't learned to navigate that. And so first I want to fulfill my e-fund, and then I also want to start investing and learning and paying attention to that. I want to stop eating out. I want to stop takeout. That's what I want to stop. I'm okay with eating out at a restaurant. I don't do that often, but takeout is something that I do way too often for way too many years. Most of my life, I will purchase some food outside and bring it home, maybe 4 times a week about on average, sometimes more, usually not less. And when I look at my transactions and I started paying attention to that, it is way too much. It is way too much. It is not healthy for my finances. It is not healthy for my body. I've been navigating some physical ailments, and I get to decrease some excess body fat to help with that. That's just a separate thing, but this is going to help me be more mindful what I put in my body. So that means if I want something, if I'm craving something, I'm going to cook it. Not that great at cooking. I'm not like the worst, but I'm not that great. So I get to maybe experiment a little bit and try different things and turn it into something fun. But I want to stop eating out. And that is the part of the challenge that I think is going to be the hardest for me because, again, most of my life since I can remember and since I've been working and making money, I order out. I want to stop over consuming to fill the void. And when I say over consuming, that's like scrolling on different websites and seeing all the things I could potentially purchase, maybe even purchasing, doing online shopping. Even if I don't purchase what I'm shopping for, that's still a waste of time. I'm filling a void of boredom. I'm filling a void of anxiety. I'm filling a void of anger, whatever it is. I tend to go towards this like consuming nature. And this decreases the amount of creation that you have, right? If you're consuming, you can't be creating at the same time. It's very difficult, if possible at all. And I want to do more creating. I want to do more implementing. My word actually for this year is execute. I've done a lot of learning. I've done a lot of introspection. And now I get to integrate and implement. And execute feels very like that aggressive energy, which I like I'm all in, I'm confident, I got this. And so execute is something that I want to do this year. And so over consuming is not allowing me to do that. So I'm going to decrease overconsumption. I've noticed that if I'm anxious, if I'm scared, I tend to want to do something with myself, right? I will practice meditation, I will journal. And sometimes if that emotion hasn't left my body, I will just try to consume something, go shopping online, purchase stuff, maybe try to purchase a solution. I notice that I love throwing money at a problem, and I am privileged to be able to do that. I'm grateful. And I also get to maybe not throw money at a problem, but sit with it and be creative about the solution and not try to get rid of the uncomfortable feeling right away just by throwing money at it versus sitting with it and how can I grow from this? What can I do in a different manner? So I definitely want to stop doing that. And this challenge is going to help. I mentioned a little bit about my physical ailments. So I do want to lose some excess body fat. And this challenge is going to support that because it is so easy for me to just purchase takeout and purchase dessert and like purchase all the food, not cook it. And when I cook, I do tend to make better choices because I don't love cooking. I don't know how to fry stuff. I'm not trying to get burnt with like oil. I've tried frying like bacon and I don't love that practice because I don't know how to handle it. Like I can see why my mom has so many, like marks on her arms because food attacks you when you're frying it. It's not something that I want to do. And so I will make simpler foods, things that have less ingredients. Still tastes okay. Maybe it doesn't taste amazing, but it's going to fuel my body. So that's another reason why. I am also looking to diversify my career and see what other roles I can fill and, potentially have multiple streams of income. I think that this challenge would help me because when I decrease consumption, I have more time to create. Maybe develop a new skill, maybe do an internship, maybe, try a different role. I'm going to have way more time to do those things that are going to support me long term. I also want to start my YouTube channel again, and this is my way of doing this. So I'm going to be documenting my journey, maybe like once a month, give you a update on how that month is going. But I love YouTube. I get so much from it. And I do want to come on here and just share my story. And if anyone benefits from it or if we can connect in any way, that's already a win. I want to start a side hustle. This goes with diversifying my career a little bit. But I don't know how this fits. It just came up and I just wanted to mention it because I do feel really, really called to have multiple streams of income. Financial freedom, sovereignty, those words are like the things I value the most. Like that is one of the things that I require in my life to feel fulfilled is freedom. And if I don't feel free, I start to become anxious. I start to become really sad. I start to question myself and my skills, and it tends to create this downward spiral where I question who I even am. Like, what am I even here for? What's the point of all this? So freedom in all aspects of life is very important to me. And I think it's important to everyone, but there are people that the thing that gets them to move is, maybe chasing pleasure. So someone that wants to, go to restaurants and taste all the food, like that doesn't drive me as much as the idea of not having someone else tell me what my schedule is, or not having someone else tell me where I can live because I can't afford it, or, this is how much the car payment is. Like, I don't want anything outside of me to limit my path. And we live in this 3D world, which money is a part of. And so I get to create financial freedom. Financial freedom does mean something different for every single person. I think it's important to get clear as to what that means for you. I'm finally arriving to what that means for me. And the truth is that I don't need a lot of stuff. There's just certain things in life I get to experience. And financial freedom allows me to experience sovereignty, allows me to, make decisions based on what I want and not what I have to do because of the economy or whatever is going on in the world. I want to give my mom a big gift. I sometimes even feel a little bit of shame around the fact that I don't give people gifts, including family. And the reason is because when you have a lot of bills and a lot of debt that you're paying, it can feel like you can't, right? If you're living paycheck to paycheck, it's hard to prioritize giving gifts to people you care about versus paying bills. So I want to be able to give my mom a gift that she can enjoy and that feels good without feeling the pressure of, oh, if I do this, I may not have enough to pay the rent. I want to be debt free. I have paid off my student loans, thankfully. I've paid off my car, and credit card debt is something that I'm done with. I am done with. There's a lot of talk about that and how, it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Whatever the case is, I've noticed that I can create a lot and then I can destroy a lot. I've had a lot of credit card debt in the past and paid it off and thought that I learned my lesson. And I didn't, because I developed credit card debt again. And I think this is the most credit card debt I've ever had. I've created a plan with my husband, talked to someone, and we are paying it off. I believe I can finish paying everything off in the next 2 years. And after that, I absolutely learned my lesson. It is not worth it to get into credit card debt unless it's for an emergency. Some people are getting into debt because they need to. They need to put food on the table and they're using their credit card to do so. I did not do that. I did it because I was purchasing mindlessly. I was just purchasing stuff, purchasing. And to be honest, I never learned a lot about finances. I have been able to create a lot of income. I've been able to manifest big chunks of money when I need to. I'm really good at doing the energy work around that. And now I get to not just create financial wealth and have money in abundance, but also keep it and grow it and learn how to nurture it. That's the part that I haven't learned, but I am so determined to do that. And I think this challenge is going to definitely help me do that. Now I'm going to talk about my rules. I have 3 main categories: my no buys, my buy only when I need to replace something, and the things that I'm allowed. So things that I am not buying 2025. I am not buying a watch. I have the Apple Watch, the series. I just got it last year. I'm not buying another watch. Before this, I had a Garmin when I was doing a lot of running. Now I'm kind of transitioning out of running. I haven't ran in a while. Again, I'm going through some physical ailments, so I get to focus on building muscle and doing really low impact cardio, but no more watches. Books. I love books, but I have a lot of books and I have not read them all. And so I'm no longer going to buy books. When I get anxious about something, I try to find the solution. So I'll research, I'll buy a book, and then maybe I'm not dealing with that anymore, or my emotional state has calmed down and then I no longer feel the need to read that book. So I have a few books. I have a few books about finances, and so I'm just going to get through all those books. And if I feel really, really called to reading a specific book, I will find it in a library. I will see if someone I know owns it and I can maybe borrow it, or if I find like a free PDF or something. No more books, no more kitchen appliances. Like I mentioned, I don't really know how to cook well, and sometimes I fall for the gimmick and marketing around, oh, if I get this item, then for sure I'm gonna be able to cook better because this makes it so easy. No, it hasn't worked. And so I have pots, I have pans, I have an Instapot, I have an oven. I'm good. No kitchen appliances. The last kitchen appliance I bought was an ice cream maker, the Ninja one. And I thought I was going to be making ice cream all day, every day. And I've made it like 3 times. So I'm going to definitely force myself to make some ice cream, but no more appliances. No gadgets from Amazon, and actually no Amazon Prime for me. I can't even tell you how many transactions come from Amazon. As I was getting ready to start this challenge, I actually started using a budgeting app. It's called Monarch Money. And you look at your transactions and I'm like, why is Amazon like 70% of my transactions? Like, this is ridiculous. I don't have that much stuff. And I guess I do have stuff that I don't use and is stored away. No Amazon. I tested it out last month where I didn't do Amazon Prime and I didn't get anything from Amazon. And I survived. And then we got Amazon Prime again, my husband and I, for some reason. And all of a sudden I'm like purchasing 1,000 things. No Amazon Prime. So no Amazon gadgets, no Amazon stuff, no Amazon. Jewelry. I'm someone that cannot buy jewelry for like 6-7 months and all of a sudden buy a whole bunch of jewelry at once. So I don't need jewelry. I mean, I have some earrings. I have a few earrings. Like, I don't need jewelry. So no jewelry this year. No spiritual gadgets or stuff. I tend to, learn a new practice and go all in and maybe purchase a few things. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I have enough. And my practice has also evolved a lot in which is more minimal. And so I don't need anything outside of me. What if just me is enough? Like, what if I'm going to do a working for something specific and I don't have an item that maybe is traditionally used for that working, can I be creative? Can I just use my energy? Can I, request support from ancestors? Like, can I just be me and do the thing that I want to do? No new makeup. Again, I don't buy a lot of makeup, but I'll go a few months without buying and then I go to Sephora and like drop a whole bunch of money on like stuff that I don't even know if it's going to work for me. And just because I work for someone else and it looks nice on them, I've learned that doesn't mean it's going to look nice on me because I have a different skin tone, different undertone, and I don't know enough about that world to dedicate more time in researching. So no new makeup. When I say new, I mean like something to experiment with or something to practice. I will allow myself to purchase, and I'll talk about what I'm allowing myself, but if something that I already use finishes, I will allow myself to purchase another one. No house appliances in general. The last big appliance was a vacuum that I finally decided to invest in something that is good and it's going to last forever and that actually works versus having to buy a vacuum every year because the one that I got is super cheap and it breaks. And yeah, but I don't need any more appliances. No planners or no physical planners. I love the idea of physical planners. I love purchasing them, but they don't actually work for me. So I'm going to stop wasting money on them and just stick with digital stuff that actually works for me. No random courses. I've done a lot of courses and I love them. And this is a year to execute. So I'm just not going to do courses this year. I'm going to allow myself a specific training that's like really, really worth it. Maybe like one training, but like random courses, not this year. No electronics or tech. I love tech. I love cameras and I don't need anything. I'm just going to use what I have and start here. And I'm just going to start showing up on YouTube, sharing, and whatever equipment I have should be enough. No takeout. This is the one that I feel is going to be really, really hard, but I'm going to do it. 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 I think this is going to be very helpful. It's going to reset my nervous system as to what it means to just be here with what I have and create something to consume. Whether that means I'm going to food prep or not, I'm just going to eat what's home. And the rule that I've developed, because there can be a lot of loopholes I can see happening here, is that my husband does not want to do this challenge with me, by the way, and that's fine. He can purchase takeout for himself. And if he purchases takeout for himself and he wants to get me some, once a week isn't okay. More than that, then I think it's a loophole. So I already told him, like, if you want to purchase takeout for both of us, you can only do that for me once a week. No fresh flowers. I love fresh flowers and they die and I have to throw them out. And so I'm not spending money on that this year. And yeah, that was it on the list of no. Now, things that I'm allowing myself to replace when they're wasted or done or they break are shoes. I'm not going to be walking around in shoes that are messed up. Like if they waste, I'm going to purchase a new pair because I don't want my joints to hurt. If my makeup, so things like tinted moisturizer, mascara, maybe some like brow products I will purchase another one once I completely use it up. Notebooks. I do a lot of journaling and I also tend to buy a lot of notebooks, even when I'm not done using a notebook I already have. And so I have a whole bunch of halfway through notebooks. And so I'm going to use them all up before I can purchase another notebook, and then use that up before I can purchase another notebook. Gym clothes. My thighs like each other. They rub. And so sometimes the inner part wastes. So if that happens, or if there's a hole in my gym clothes, I'm going to allow myself to purchase another. Things like face moisturizer, body moisturizer, feminine products, hair products, memory card for camera. If it's full, I'm going to buy another one. And supplements. I'm going to limit this because I can also go crazy with supplements. But the supplements that I'm currently taking and I've been seeing benefits from are a hair vitamin. I had a lot of hair shedding where I had some like bald spots, and I started a hair vitamin that really was helpful. I noticed that I have little seasons of like more shedding, especially if I stop taking the vitamin or if I'm very, very stressed. So I'm going to allow myself to continue that vitamin. Fish oil and black seed oil, and also a digestive enzyme. So I'm going to let myself buy another one once I finish that specific supplement. And business software, if I need to renew it, I will do so at the end of the year. Now, things that are allowed, I'm not going to mention like the basic things, so like rent, groceries, internet bill, parking, things like that, of course. But in addition to that, I found this spot with my husband, San Diego, where we live, is like a block away, that they have a bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel that tastes so good and so close to New York type of bagel that it hits the spot every time. And so I'm going to allow myself to have that once per week. I'm going to allow myself to do a training that maybe gives a certificate or helps me develop a skill. So I'm just going to allow one of those. Haircut. Now, there are people that cut haircut and hair care out of their life when they're doing this challenge. But again, this is why it's individual to each person. I actually don't do my hair a lot. And last year was the first time that I decided I'm going to really go all out and treat myself. So when I turned 40, I decided to get highlights, which I've never had before. And I got a haircut. And I also got this side of my hair shaved. It's already growing. I have to go back to get it shaved. So I'm going to let myself have one haircut a year this year. And then I'm going to let myself shave that side 6 times this year. So maybe once every 2 months. It's like $25 to do that. If I go to the person, I'm not going to do it myself because I'll probably shave the wrong place. But yeah, I'm going to let myself do that. Subscriptions is something that I tend to also use way too much. And so I've definitely cut down, but I'm going to keep very, very few. One is an exercise subscription, where it's basically just, it lets me document my exercises, my weight, my progression. It lets me create templates, and I really actually like it. A nutrition one that lets me track what I'm consuming, and it tells me calories, carbs, protein, fat, all the jazz. I think that's very helpful for me. And I'm going to let myself have a financial subscription. So like the Monarch Money, where I track everything, and it actually is really helpful because it lets you create a budget and you can see your money, like where it's going. It's been really, really helpful. I can talk more about that in another video. And A subscription that I almost forgot I had, but I'm going to keep it, is one that's every 3 months, and it's just a shower filter. And it's like, I think it's like $29.99 or something every 3 months just to change the filter for the shower. I'm also going to let myself purchase clothing if I need for a new role, for when I diversify my career, for maybe an internship or a new position or whatever happens. I'm going to let myself get that for either interviews or even for the role itself. Medical expenses, I'm going to let myself have that regardless of how much it is. I'm going to let myself donate. And my mom currently is in New York. I'm in San Diego. She may come to San Diego to visit. I may go to New York. Either way, when we're together, I'm going to let myself do whatever. So go out, go to places, take her out to eat. I'm going to allow myself one new thing for my business. I've not been really active with my business and I want to get back to it. So one thing, I don't know what that is yet, but I'm going to allow myself one thing. Coffee shop, I'm going to allow myself to go once a week. I'm not someone that goes to the coffee shop a lot, but it actually does bring me a lot of joy. It gets me outside. It gets me walking. It just makes me more creative being around a lot of people. So I'm going to let myself do that once a week. I'm going to allow one trip this year, whether it's me going to New York or going somewhere else. And I'm going to let myself do stuff for special events. So anniversary, maybe my husband's birthday, things like that. So those are my categories and my rules. Now, quickly, the things that may trigger me to want to quit this challenge, but I won't. I'm just going to navigate them. Anxiety, stress, sadness, a problem, and sales. So like I mentioned, I try to fix things with money, and I'm going to instead sit with it and navigate it and see if I can have a creative solution that doesn't involve money. And also just knowing that it's okay to feel uncomfortable, getting used to feeling uncomfortable and how it's not the end of the world. Reminding my nervous system that we aren't in a dying situation right now. This uncomfortable feeling will pass and we're okay. We're safe. Now, sales is something where if I see something that's 40% off or more, I feel this jolt to go for it because I'm saving money. But when you buy on sale, you're still buying and you're still using your money to purchase. So no sales. I'm unsubscribing from all the marketing stuff that I could possibly unsubscribe from. Those are the things that may cause some triggers. Anyways, I am very excited. I'm going to give you an update at the end of the month to let you know how it went. Thank you so much for being here. And if you have any advice, let me know in the comments. I love you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.